He calls his line a podcasting's quest. One of a kind. Tom Gulley rides the wave. Tom Gulley rides the wave. Yeah, yeah. Through the noise, through the haze. Hey, Tom Gulley rides the wave. Oh, with the mic in hand, he sails the air, dodging trolls. He doesn't care. Opinions crash like thunder's roar. He's always ready for one wave more. Tom Gulley rides the wave. Tom Gulley rides the wave. Through the noise, through the noise. Tom Gulley rides the wave. Internet tides, they ebb and flow. He's catching currents we'll never know. Oh, ripping sharp, making bold plays. Tom Gulley, the king of waves. Tom Gulley rides the wave. Hey, Tom Gulley rides the wave. Through the noise, through the waves. Hey, Tom Gulley rides the wave. Oh, Tom Gulley rides the waves. Tom Gulley rides the waves. Tom Gulley's got a mic in his hand. Ooh, yeah. Talking Bigfoot tracks in the sand. Hole punches, spiders, conspiracies tight. He's podcasting strong, deep into the night. From the man from UNCLE to the Motown scene. He's dropping gems like you never seen. Oh, you know Tom Gulley, he's the podcast king. Say what? Ladies man with a smooth, sweet swing. Bigfoot, spider, and 9/11 schemes. Tom's a man of your wildest dreams. Tom Gulley, he's got charm, got wit, and a silky flow. Oh yeah, talking mysteries only Tom would know. From R&B to the funk so tight, so tight. He's spinning webs like a spider at night. His voice is smooth like a Motown jam. Ooh-wee. You can't help but say that's my man. Oh yeah, Tom Gulley, he's the podcast king. Ladies man with a smooth, sweet swing. Ooh. Bigfoot, spiders, and 9/11 schemes. Tom's the man of your wildest dreams. Tom Gulley, I'm gonna, Tom Gulley, I'm gonna, Tom Gulley, I'm gonna, Tom Gulley, I'm gonna,
Oh, yeah. Hey, everybody. What's going on? What's hot? What's hip? What's happening? What is shaking on your fabulous, fabulous... It's Tuesday. Although, for the purposes of on demand, it's whatever day. Yeah. Tonight, let me tell you about bad smells. We're talking the worst smells in the world. And by the way, This is a viewer requested show. Doopa-doo wanted a show on the worst smells. I want to say ranked top of them because rank, is a smell word. But there's 10 of them. Rank them as you want to on your own if you care to. Do me a favor. Please like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification bell. All the free things you can do to help us out with the algorithm, the almighty, all-powerful, all-knowing, all-seeing algorithm. Plus, we do have super chats, we do have memberships, and we also have that PayPal. Oh, boy, that PayPal. We love that PayPal where you give the most and I get the most, and Google gets nothing. I love that. I love that. A lot of that information is down in the begging bar here, or you can just go to the description of the show here on YouTube, and there's a plethora, some would say, of wonderful information about how to be involved with the show and stuff and things. I want to mention right off the bat, there are some images that I did not include, and some smells that I did not include in this. For instance, the smell of Don Giller. Just off the charts. I didn't think it would be fair. And some of the actual visuals that I have here for the various smells, I could have put much grosser images on for these. But I thought YouTube might have a problem with it. Maybe they wouldn't have. I don't know. I might have had a problem with it. I know we are in the dinner hour for many people. But don't worry. There are one or two images which are really gross. So for those of you that, let me see here. Julian Caesar says, I'm just here for the thumbnail. We had a great thumbnail for this episode. I won't show it here, but we did. Maybe you're here because of the thumbnail. I don't know. Gilman says, hey, Tom, I made the mistake of going to sports bar last night for the Eagles game. Never again. I enjoy it more and more in the comfort of my own home. I'm officially too old for that. Yeah, and if you were at home, you could listen to the show with the sound off on the TV, and you'd double win there. And your team, the Eagles, did win last night, so congratulations. 10-7. What is this, 1964? Anyway, let's see. Julian says, can't watch, but will be listening. I will watch in 20 minutes. Is the Tom Gulley Rides the Waves actually singers and musicians? Because it sounds great. It is not. It is not. Terry Nee says, so handsome. Well, thank you. From the song. I thought you were just coming on to me. And you're welcome. Gilman says UK versus UL. That's Louisville, for those of you who don't know. The whole state of Kentucky is watching this. We have no pro teams. Well, you have pro teams. They're just not major league pro teams. You have, the Louisville Redbirds. You have Louisville City soccer team. You have some. But just support the Colts and the Pacers and Indiana University. My school, Ball State University, we actually in 1990 shocked the world when we upset Louisville in the NCAA basketball tournament, where we made it to the round of 16 and lost controversially and by 2 points, or was it 1 point? To eventual national champion UNLV. You can look it up. That's the one where Chandler Thompson jumped over 3 UNLV players and dunked over them. You can see it on YouTube. Chandler Thompson, how do you do? Said Brent Musburger. Yeah. Terry Nee with lots of love. Thank you, Terry. I appreciate that. PSU. Well, just the PS part, or PSU, Penn State University. I have to admit, Indiana just barely squeaked out a win over them on the very last. It was in trouble. Terry Nee is offering up Dead Body on the list of worst smells, which, Terry was kind of a wiseacre, suggesting that, I had lived in Indianapolis, and there were some murders there that have never been solved, and that I had lived in Springfield, Missouri, and there's some murders there that have never been solved. How does he know what a dead body smells like? Ooh. Anyway. Attorney says a plethora of pedantic verbiage. You know, I've been called pedantic before. Certain people in this room will attest to that. Durian fruit. I didn't put any of those weird smelling fruits on here because the reason I didn't, and I know there's a variety of them, I want them to be common things that when I mention them, everybody will go, oh, yeah, I remember that one. People saying hi. Chef is here. He is in the kitchen at the Skyline Club, a fancy restaurant in Indianapolis. You got to be a member to eat at that place, or a guest of a member, I guess. Let's see. Stribbs is here. He says, Gully Gang. Stribbs knows about me being known as a pedant, which is a pedantic person. Not as, you know, I know it sounds like a thing. It's not a thing. It's just, but anyway. Chef never cooks a bad smell. Never. Never. Body or bodies? That's up to you, man. What you do in the privacy of your home is between you and your pastor. Anyway, I guess we should get into this. Let's get into this. Now, you can rank these if you want. This is my ranking. You can rank them on yourselves. I may pause here a little bit to let you guys get your worst smells out there. And if they're not on the list, don't worry. We can have honorable mentions. Like Don Giller. Oh, let's see what we got here. Chef says, no, I don't like the smell of clams, even though I make them all the time. I just don't like the smell of it. You just made me gag a little bit. I don't like them either. I don't even like looking at them. Anyway, number 10 on our list of the worst smells is, yes, the dreaded cat poopy. Cat poop. Or, and I'm willing to accept, litter box. There's just something about when you go into a person's house and you go by that utility room, or in some people put it in their bathroom, which I think is insane. Maybe it makes sense, but do you really want to sit in a bathroom and do your business with their business? It's just, yes. Yes. Let's see here. Roller skater, Texas girl, I was thinking of you just the other day. I have the answer, Tom, and I was thinking about you and your husband and roller skating because I was watching, I was looking for shows that are streaming shows, and guess what one of them that came up was, and I watched it, and it was the legendary Roller Boogie with Linda Blair. Let's see. I'd love to hear what you got to say. Ammonia. Yes, Gilman. That ammonia and that dank, heavy, clinging, cloying, unpleasant. And by the way, it's the reason I would never have a cat, is having to empty that. You know what I mean? It's like I'm not dealing with anybody's dookie business but my own. You know what I mean? I'm not. Should I say? I can give a hint. I'd like the hint, please. Alex, I would like the hint for 100. Great movie. Did I mention, did I do the part with the Super Chats memberships and the PayPal and the merch store, and it's in the begging bar, or you can go to the description. It's a flower. Okay, well, I didn't do any of because there's a bunch of those fleshy, decaying flower smells. I stuck to the common bad smells of, the everyday person. Joe's six-pack, Johnny Punch Clock, Susie Housecoat. That's what I stuck to. But I'd love to hear it, roller skater, Texas girl. And also, it affords me the opportunity to leave this picture. Doesn't that cat look like it's guilty? Like, I know how bad this is. Yes, the corpse flower. The corpse flower. Well, let me see here. I think I had... Is that on my, let's see, there's durian fruit, Vieux Boulogne cheese, skunk spray, thioacetone, The stinking corpse lily. That's probably the one that you're referring to. Although, who can say for sure? I do not know, you know. I do not know. Anyway, number 10 on our list is, of course, cat dookie and or litter box. And don't tell me about Fresh Step and all this kind of kitty litter. It smells like cat pee and poop and a very slight aroma of mountain glade. There we go. Number 9 on the list, not to be outdone. Oh, there we go. Yes, cat pee is gets right into the sinuses. And then, anyway. Number 4 on the list, and a lot of people really react to this badly. This would be, yes, of course, dog poopy. Yes, dog poopy. And it's super bad, but personally, the worst dog poop smell is the one on your shoes, right? You ever like been out walking through a park or someplace or something or in the neighborhood or whatever and you walk in the house and you get about 10 steps in and you go, what the heck is that? And then you look at your shoe and you've got medium brown clay on it, only it's not clay. And it's just, oh God, and it's really impossible to get off your shoes, and it's not good smelling, and now you've tracked it in, and it's a thing, and it smells even worse than the regular smell. And it's the only time that you smell it in like a closed up area. Chef says, with no disrespect to you, I'm going to have to stop listening to you. Everybody in the kitchen is going, yuck. I understand. By the way, kitchen staff at the incredible Skyline restaurant there in Indianapolis, not only have I eaten there, I have long, fond memories of eating there. And you guys are awesome. And the next time I'm in Indianapolis, if you guys can slip me in the door, since I'm not a member, I'll come there and I'll eat there. With a +1, of course. Anyway, Chef, no worries. Julian Caesar says, I remember the day many years ago when I stepped in dog poop twice in one day. Once going to work, once going home. Julian says, in the middle of cooking linguine and shrimp. Thanks for ruining it. Don't hate. This is not my fault. I refuse to accept responsibility for this. This is the fault of Doopa-Doopa-Doo. This is the show that she requested. I don't even see her here right now, frankly. She requested it. Yes. Yes. So this is all her fault. I just heard a loud noise outside. I don't know if I should check it or not. It was that loud. It was loud enough. Maybe I should check it. You guys think I should check it? Should I check myself before I wreck myself? Oh, hey, I know what I could do. I could check it while I show you a visual, and you can guess what smell this is. And this one is one of the ones I couldn't show you the actual thing. Okay, I was unable to show you the actual thing. It even for me. All right, so here's the visual. There you go. And I'll be back in like 15 or 20 seconds. Hold on. Okay, this is the idiots across the street as usual. Let's see. Roller skater Texas girl says gangrene. Bad smell, but not this visual. Sky says Gully Gang. Hello, Sky. Good to see you. Comedy shaman's hands. Well, maybe. Wait, never mind. There's a wedding ring. Leon Kennedy says, a while ago, my sink's overflow was leaking, and the smell coming up was so gross I had to light candles and incense all over my flat to get rid of it. I think that qualifies for one of the items on our list. Not this, but roller skater Texas girl says mud, hopefully. Okay, this is the shorthanded image, and this was a difficult image to guess. The dirty diaper. The dirty diaper. Number 8 on our list. And I'm telling you, a loaded diaper, ooh. Ooh, mama, that's a bad smell. Anybody? Anybody? Please put your dirty diaper stories. And I still owe Leon Kennedy an email. I looked at it today while I was working my rear end off. And Terry Nee says septic tank clean out is awful. Not as awful as your spelling of awful. Roller skater Texas girl says, "Oh Lord." Sorry about that, Terry. I just went Stut Joe there for a second. I'm sorry. What I really hate is when people want to go, "Aw," and they spell it A-W-E. Yes, dirty diaper is, oh Lord. A dirty diaper is bad. It's really bad. Oh, pod awful. No, that's not the correct. Anyway, dirty diaper. And you can tell it's dirty diaper because he's wearing a wedding ring. There's no out of wedlock. Not here on this show. It's a family show. By the way, doopa-doopa-doo. What gives? You asked me to shoot myself in the foot doing a show on the worst smells of all time. For the love of Mike. That's a good one. Pod awful. Awful, the waste of animals, I think. All right, that was, here's number 7 on our list. This one varies from person to person. Temperature, in other words, weather conditions play a part. And particularly bad in enclosed spaces like, say, a taxi cab. And that is, of course, yes, body odor. Body odor. Yes. If you've ever been close to someone who maybe is concerned about hygiene, it's other people, maybe there's certain cultural mores which aren't observed as often as others. Body odor. Let's see. Oh, whoops, we got to do this first. Hey, can't talk about pot awful without talking about Jesse's generational run. That is true, Sky. It's on quite a generational run. Terry Nee says pig and pig spread on field is awful. Leon Kennedy says gullerational run. Yes, I'm on a gullerational run. Stribs says Uber drivers. Well, I wish I could say you're wrong, but yes, with more frequency than you would like. An Uber driver, how are you today, my friend? Usually is what you hear while you're like, I'm good. Can you roll down all the windows and drive as fast as you can? Leon Kennedy says, my cat's breath smells pretty bad. I must admit, I did not consider that one. I don't get close enough to cats. Roller skater Texas girl. The roller rink. Well, sometimes I got to get out there. We got to coordinate a time when I can come out there when you and your husband are there. You said you knew a gal too, although she's 30 years younger than me and must have bad judgment and poor eyesight. Roller skater Texas girl says, I try to make sure my chemtrail is positive. Well, we'll get to that chemtrail in just a second here. The Dapple person says, dog musk gland exude brutal. Well, we already covered some dog exhaust a little earlier, sir. But thank you for being here. Nice of you to drop in. Gilman says, so what? Aluminum isn't deodorant. Use it. Yeah, they say it causes all. There's some linkage to aluminium, if you're British, causing Alzheimer's. And at a certain point, it's like, I don't care. I'm going to go ahead and use it anyway. Terry Nee says, open septic. Terry Nee, you're a very perceptive man, a man gifted of great foresight and knowledge. We might just cover that in some form or fashion as we continue with the very worst smells of all times. Please like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification bell. Only costs you a click, only takes a second, really helps us out with the algorithm. Please, we would love that. We would love you for it. We would love it if you share it to all your friends. You're smart. You're popular. People look upon you with great admiration. If you suggest this show to them and say subscribe or you're not invited to Thanksgiving, Papa Mau Mau. Say, did somebody mention chemtrail? I'd like to mention. Well, I'll show it to you first and then I'll mention. Uh-oh, look at this. Roller skater says she's off the market, but her aunt is single, I believe, and she's a tall drink of water. She's a tough lady. She's also the owner's sister. Look, I don't like to get too much into my personal life. Prefer, especially matters of the heart. However, it's really only worth it to me if the girl is 5 to 10 times better looking than I am. We'll just throw that out on the table. Yes, open septic is a big one. All right, here's one that is almost impossible to show. You can describe it. You can talk about it. We all know what it is. But you can't really show it. It's not something evident in action. I wonder what Comedy Shaman smells like. Stupidity and shame. Yes. There we go. All right. Here we go. This would be, yes, human flatulence. You could throw cow flatulence in there, horse, dog, if you want to, but flatulence in general. Okay, I'll go ahead and say it. I don't like to curse on this show, but farts. Farts. They can be very off-putting. I had a teammate when I played soccer, and we had a Saturday, it was like a noon game, I think against DePaul, which is a school much smaller than us. We really shouldn't have even been playing them, but they were on our schedule. So we pile into the team bus. We head to DePaul. We're on the way there. So Muncie to Greencastle, I don't know. That's got to be a 2.5 hour drive, something like that. One of the guys on my team, to this day, I recoil in horror just thinking about it. The entire team had to crowd 3 to a man in the first 6 seats of the bus. He detonated in the back of the bus. It's the one of the worst smells. All the windows were down. The bus driver stopped the bus, got off for a while. It was bad. And I was like, look, if you're sick, go to the hospital, man. It's not the smell, it's the burning of my eyes. Let's see here. There's one girl that is gorgeous, but I'm suspicious that she's insane. Sounds like she was tailor-made for me. She skates beautifully. Well, now we're getting off the track. That picture. Yeah, well, it's the best picture I could find that, believe me, there was a picture, a Japanese picture from like the 4th century or something that showed something similar, only it was causing 10 or 12 people to blow away. But it wasn't as communicative, if I may say that, as this one. So human flatulence is a bad smell. You know what else is a bad smell? Requesting a show from me on bad smells and then not showing up. That's a bad smell. No, I'm just kidding. I really enjoy the viewer requested shows, and this is one of them. So U.S. for America and England, and I assume Canada, perhaps Australia, New Zealand, all of the English-speaking parts of the world. All right. Let's see. That was number 6. Here's number 5. We are into the top 5 now. Leon Kennedy says, "Don't worry, Tom. I showed up if they didn't." Thank you, Leon. Thank you. Number 5 on the list, ladies and gentlemen. You know what? That would be rotten eggs. Rotten eggs. Eggs that have rotted. I don't know if any of you grew up on a farm. And I don't know if any of you ever had a hen house. And I don't know if you know that hens like to hide their eggs sometimes. And then you find them. And usually that's not a bad thing. Well, if they've hidden it for 4 or 5 days, then you find it. You put them in with the eggs that, you know what I'm saying? You know, can you see where this is headed? And you crack that rotten egg. Oh, it is, yeah, eggs for sure. Brutal, says roller skater Texas girl. And she is correctamundo, if I can invoke a little Fonzie. Yes, rotten eggs. And of course, these gentlemen have taken the proper precaution. Look at them. Terry Nee says, so sulfur. Well, I didn't want to get too far into the science of it, but since you mentioned that, Terry, the smell that causes rotten eggs to smell so bad is a smell that is found various other places in nature. I could go through them all, but they're not as common as rotten eggs. Leon Kennedy says, when I was a teenager, I had this job for a day where we had to destroy rotten stock from a supermarket that had been moved to a field. The rotten strawberries smelled like diseased testicles. Yipes. Yes, very sulfuric, the rotten egg smell. Eesh. Eesh. Very not good. Not good. Not good. We're halfway through the show, which is normally when I say, please like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification bell. Man, if you could do those things, I don't care if you're watching in a Discord. You know, many Discords, one in particular, they watch my show in that Discord. More than one person, several people. And they say that they come in the room and watch it so I get a view on my view count, but it radically reduces my average length of view, which is probably a better number. However, all of that is water under the bridge. If you like, you share, and you subscribe. Then we're good. Then it's a clean, you know what I'm saying? All right. We got to get to number 4 here in a second. But first, Tom, my dad used to make a drink called Clabber. It smells terrible. Sky asked something I was going to ask, but I like Leon too much, and he's done such a great job with these songs. I think our outro today is... what did I do on the way in? I did Tom Gulley Rides the Waves in the podcast King. I think on the way out, we're going to do... When Tom Gulley Goes to Town, which is a rockin' little number. So, yeah, here's the question. I don't want to say it because I like Leon, but I think it's a fair question, really. He probably just imagined that's what they smell like. I don't know. I can't say. I can't look into another man's soul. All right. Number 4, well, I've given it away already. That would be the smell of skunk. Skunk. And if you've ever had a dog, perhaps, that has been sprayed by a skunk, it's rare that a human is in this day and age, I would say. But If you've ever had a dog, now sometimes a skunk will spray on a thing and then you brush up against the thing. That happens, I suppose. But skunk smell, real skunk smell, not a skunk sprayed something a quarter of a mile away, but real skunk smell, real close up, in the moment, live on the razor's edge, laugh in the face of death, skunk smell. That is a bad thing. Oh, fun nature fact. Leon Kennedy says, we don't have skunks here in England, so I have no idea. Or I don't think we do. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. However, I am writing skunks down on my list of potential topics, and at that point, we'd know all the places they exist, because I would tell you. I would. So skunk, a bad smell. I grew up on a small farm in Indiana, and there were skunks in the area. And most of the people that I know that got skunked, as they say, were because of their dog. Their dog ran across a skunk and tried to do something, got a little out of line, just a little bit, and they got sprayed. So their dog would come home, bound into the house or up to you, and you'd be like, woo, mama. Woo, mama. Roller skater, Texas girl, rotten broccoli is horrible. Are you talking about broccoli? Broccoli. Anybody? Dana Carvey broccoli song? Never mind. It is bad. Skunks will make you think about abandoning your dog, says Julian Zezer. Yes, and skunk smell not easy to get rid of. Some have said only time will, but there's no universal. People say tomato juice. They say a lot of things. It just takes a while. Roller skater Texas girl says skunks are adorable, though. Well, in the cartoons, they are quite adorable. Pepe Le Pew. But in real life, they're not. They're attractively colored, but they're not. They're little nasty creatures. They are. Sky says, you ever inhale through your mouth in a cloud of skunk smell? No, I don't try not to inhale at all. Julian Caesar says, de-skunked skunks are great pets. Well, I can imagine. Let's see. The dabbled person says, some people enjoy the smell of skunks for some odd biological reason. TDJ, you are correct. And I don't know what it is, but there are people that like certain bad smells, burnt hair, certain things that certain people like. I knew a girl, super hot girl, by the way, who liked the smell of feet. Like feet after you run a marathon, or says just stinky, been cutting the lawn and doing lawn work feet. She loved that smell. Let's see here. Bad is in the eye of the beholder. Michael Gardner's here. Hello, Michael. Or as we say, the nose of the beholder. Oh, by the way, we do have super chats. We do have memberships. We do have the YouTube. That's my favorite, where you give the most, I get the most. Google gets nothing. We also have the merch store at the TomGulleyShow.com. And all of it's in the description or down. Sorry, Michael, I got to give it. Or down yonder in the begging bar. There we go. It's all relative to evolution. It's all putting some bustion in our combustion, isn't it? Skunks are pungent and linger. It also reminds me of good weed. Well, some people call it skunk weed. It used to be called skunk weed. Scared. They look like a badger. They do have a badger-esque thing. Faint skunk smell is an aphrodisiac. By the way, give my regards to Mrs. Nee. Honey, no, I swear. This is supposed to make you, it's for our anniversary. Just take a hit of this faint skunk smell. Michael Gardner says, I love the smell of skunks, honestly. TDJ says, small, rare spotted skunk here in Florida is cute. Stink bugs. Stink bugs are not on our list. I'm sorry. But they are stinky. Rotting potatoes. That's a bad one. Some of these kind of get into one of ours, but it's because I smoke a lot of weed. Yeah, skunk weed. It's the good. So I've been told. Julian Caesar says they're really not that bad. They're confident in their safety. 3 skunks came in my tent once, and they didn't spray me, just sniffed around and left. Yeah, if you're not threatening them, they won't do nothing. They'll just go along. But see, a lot of people threaten them because they're like, oh, skunk. I don't want to smell like a skunk. I don't want to be sprayed. I don't even want spray near me. And they hurt them, and then bam. Stribs likes gasoline smell. I do like the smell of gasoline. I do. I agree with you, Stribs. I like gasoline smell. TDJ says, Terry, rotting potatoes 100% is just unbearable. Well, you know what? I'll take your word for it. I don't ever have any rotting potatoes around me because I eat them taters up before they can rot. If I get me a bag of taters over here, it's gone. Licky toot now. I eat them taters. Michael Gardner says, you married the feet girl, right? No, I did not. No, I did not. I was stunned that she liked that smell. I'm like, really? Because you're super hot. Michael Gardner says, how could you let the perfect girl get away? I don't know. TDJ says, Stribs always love gasoline. That is true. Julian Caesar, speaking to Terry Nee, says, I grabbed a bag of potatoes at the market once, and one was rotten. I could not get the smell off my hand. I'm glad someone else shares my misery. Well, that's one thing about a bad smell. You get it on you, and you will wipe it off with burning wood if you have to, because some of it won't come up. The smell of onions on your hands takes forever, and they say milk, or there's certain things for certain smells. For some reason, tomato juice gets a lot of smells off. I don't know. Maybe it's the acidity. I don't know. Michael Gardner says, I love gasoline smell and car exhaust too. I'm disgusting. Gasoline smell has got a kind of, like when you go into a garage, and I don't mean like a neighbor's garage or your garage. I mean like an auto garage, mechanics. It's got that gasoline-y, engine-y, you know what I mean? Terry Nee, I've been described as smelling like a combination of leather, wood shavings, and motorcycle fuel. It's just Julian Caesar says potatoes last forever, but when they go bad, they're diabolical. Julian Caesar's getting a lot of props. Bus diesel smell. Yeah, now we're talking. Let's see here. These are guys' smells. I'm sure some of the ladies in the room have different smells they like that we not like that are bad. That are bad. Michael Gardner says, did you do the Tin Allen grunt properly there? I hope I did. Leon Kennedy says, I think cats smell quite nice. Maybe I have brain bugs. The cats, not so bad. The litter box is where we part ways, part company on all that. It's the litter box. A perfect grunt. Thank you. Let's see here. We are at number 3. I cannot say this in public. I will put it on the screen. You may slightly retch, throw up in your mouth a little at home on your own time after reading this comment by the always tactful Terry Nee. Number 3 on our list, Jacques Crispy Vivo says, let me tell you about Indians. Native Americans? What's up with that? They smell like peyote and tomahawks. All right, this number 3 on the list. This is what we will call, and Terry Nee has been bumping up against it all show. This is what we call raw sewage, which I thought was a good one to add to the list because it's a combination of a lot of things we've been talking about. It's rotten, spoiled fruit. It's a lot of things, but also number 1 is human defecation is part of raw sewage in a treatment plant. Human defecation, ladies and gentlemen, for 100. Great deer bait, though. Oh, man, you are. As well as shark bait, I've heard. Chum. All right, so this would be sewage. And I don't know if you've ever smelled sewage. Sometimes on a farm you have to clean out a horse stable and that gets thrown onto a pile with a bunch of other stuff, even compost, all that sewage. If you have a sewage treatment plant near you, the treatment plant isn't that bad because the sewage is being treated. But if you get around sewage that isn't being treated, like this looks like it is, where the sewage is just kind of collecting, it's just pouring out there, it's not good. Like for instance, a sort of slow-moving or stagnant creek where a farmer might be dumping all of his cattle droppings. Look, sewage, trust me, raw sewage is, man. Julian Caesar's sewage treatment plants are not that bad. Well, no, that's because they're being treated. I go past several on my cycling long ride. There are much worse smells, but you're not in the plant, though. There are videos on YouTube where the guys that are in the sewage treatment plant where they really dump the sewage in at first and they have to break up the various things in the sewage, and they've got masks and everything else. That's different. Terry Nee says, I need to seal the house when our septic is emptied. Yeah, and that's raw sewage is what is in your septic tank. So those of you who don't use some sort of septic tank bio treatment to break down the things in the tank, which are very inexpensive and easy to buy anywhere. If you ever have a septic tank go bad or be emptied, mama, there's nothing like it. Terry Nee says chicken feces are worse. Well, of course, you're a bird. You just want your thing on the list higher. By the way, it's number 3 right now. Julian Caesar says, I smelled raw sewage once, and it was terrible. Gilman, I don't know that I can put that up, sadly, but you guys can see it. Terry says, it doesn't matter, to what the Gilman said. Birds win. Birds win. Last night, you mean, in that offensive slugfest? All right. Have we talked enough about sewage? You folks think we've talked enough about sewage yet? All right. Let's get to number 2 on the list. And again, you can rank them yourself. These are not set in stone. Number 2 on our list. By the way, the link has been up the whole show, pinned to the top, as usual. And as usual, we're coming down to the end of the show here. And Super Chats, memberships, etc., etc., etc. Number 2 on the list. Yes, you know it. You love it. You can't live without it. We've done a show on it, and that is your good friend, vomit. That's right. Vomit. Is there a worse smell than vomit? It's a childhood smell for many people at school. Maybe you associate it with the stuff, the powder that you put on the vomit. That combination is just burned into your head. Rabbits, propane odor. Julian Caesar's trying to eat. Sorry, Julian, this won't last much longer. Trust me. But what I like to call unswallow, the Technicolor yawn, shooting the cat, feeding the fish. Yes, it's vomit. Let's see here. Dan Kennedy, vomit totally depends, though. Like if you just throw up vodka, it smells nice. Oh, my God. Terry Nee says soccer players. Soccer players? You mean like Cristiano Ronaldo, who has his own line of cologne, probably sells $1 billion every year? So many odious guesses, says Michael Garner. You're right there. Indiana University? Like they don't vomit at Penn State, please. Worshipping at the porcelain god, talking to Ralph and Earl. Yes, there's many, many names. Many names. Let's get that off the screen. This was one of the gross ones I did show. By the way, I felt like number 2 and number 1 should be very not good pictures, because Invicta Cologne is the worst. Never heard of it. I'm sure it's bad. We haven't even met our goal tonight. And our goal is any amount of money. That's a pretty easy goal. Anyway, example. So this is another photo. If you are eating, like Julian, please avert your eyes. This is a smell some people, 1 or 2 have mentioned over the course of this program. And this smell, of course, is decomposition. Decomposition. Now, Terry Nee, of course, favors the human body. I used this particular example because I think most of the time when we smell decomposition, it is an animal, a mouse, or a dog that's been hit, or something of that nature. But, and of course, Terry Nee, the wiseacre that he is. Thank you, Terry, for the 99-cent super sticker. Now we've shattered our goal of any amount of money. Naturally, we were hoping for better than that, but we've at least met our goal. And what a thrill it was. Anyway, so this is decomposition. I don't know how many of you have happened upon a dead cat or dog or mouse, but the smell of it is absolutely overpowering. And this is why I made this one number 1, because not only is the smell the worst possible kind of smell, it is overwhelmingly devastating to the surrounding area. And it takes forever to go away. Forever. I remember I was cleaning out a barn one time. And it was one of those barns that, had a lot of debris and things in it. And one of the things it had in it was, in the little workshop, was a refrigerator. And I opened up that fridge, and there were 2 or 3 dead mice in it. And I thought I was gonna die. I did. So there you are. Oh, Terry Nee, more than doubling our effort tonight with another $1. Thank you, Terry. You are such a... Oh, God. Yes, Terry Nee really enjoys torturing me. Body in a fridge. Well, body in a fridge, the fridge is on. It's a flavor saver in there, but oh, look here. I sent you £1 on PayPal, Tom. You're welcome. The goal is hit. Now you know my real name and possibly where I live. Don't dox me, Tom. Do I, if that happens? I don't pay attention to any of that. It just shows up on my thing. But, well, thank you, Leon. Leon, you shouldn't really send me anything because you've done all these great songs. And, yeah. I got to ask you some questions some point in time. Maybe we can have you on the show over Facebook call. I got to ask you some questions about how you create these songs. And then I love all the R&B stuff. I was listening to a song called Doom and Gloom by the Rolling Stones. And I thought, now that is another sort of genre that might be cool for a song. But I'm not going to, I'll leave it to you. You're the dude on that stuff. You haven't made a wrong step yet. They're all awesome. I'll be honest with you, Leon and I are in conversation. It's my fault we haven't finished the conversation about how you guys can download these songs. I just want to make double sure that it's a place where you can get other stuff that Leon has done and see other things he's worked on, because I want him promoted while we do this and his skills and abilities. Let's see here. Terry Nee says, I do Venmo. I do not, because Venmo had a huge data breach, and I'm not into that. Terry Nee's giving Leon the muscle there. Oh, hey, Terry Nee and my good friend, Terry Nee and my good friend, Leon Kennedy, for donating to the show. You know what you get, don't you? Oh, yeah. You get the point. The point from Tom Gulley. That's right. That's me saying, hey there, Hepcat, you're pretty cool. That's right. I'm breaking out the point again. It's been a while, but we brought back the point. There you go. Congratulations, gentlemen. Congratulations. Tell your family and friends. Anyway, let's get back to this decomposing animal. It cost me more in fees to send £1 than the £1. Thanks, PayPal. I'm so sorry. Yeah, don't do that again. Don't do that again. Terry's laughing. History of PayPal and Peter Thiel is interesting if you're cruising Wikipedia. Well, let me just do PayPal. I'll put that down on my list of topics. Yeah, PayPal. Boom. There we go. Terry says, sorry I can't send 50 cents, or as it's known in his neighborhood, 2 bits. Goat says, hey, yeah. Terry Nee says, oh, my God. Yes, you've gotten the point. Highly sought after. Look there, and there's me looking at myself doing the point. How about that? JJ, it is. I don't know what that means, but I'll assume that. Yeah. Well, we got a few minutes here in the show. Link still hasn't been used. How long have I had that link up? And not one. It's almost too late now. But I've got that link up, and there's some. Wow. What a night. Magical night. There's been some internet tough guys around lately. They got a lot to say to me in chat rooms, but they don't ever show up and use the link. Now, a guy I haven't talked to, and I don't really think I'd want to talk to, is that Mersh cretin. But there's others, and I won't mention their names because that's what they want. You can probably guess some of them, that whether I'm in the chat room or somewhere else. And then there's just some people that are in chat rooms. I was supposed to be on Bob Levy last week. I never got a call, but just fine. Things happen, whatever. It's an honor just to be nominated. There's a bunch of people in his chat room that hate my guts, and that's fine. Because number one, they're never going to be on the show. Number two, if I am on again ever, not going to be a good day for them. And number three, they could come on here anytime they want. Anytime they want. They could click that link and be on the show and right in person. Never will happen. Because they know what would happen. And then we would smell another one of the worst smells, the stink of fear. Anyway. Dupa? No, Dupa doesn't hate me. No, I don't think she does. I'm pretty sure she does. I did a show for her at her request. Bob's old. He forgets. Bob's he's sharper than you think. Hey, I'm Sky says, having haters means you're doing something right. Does it? I think having haters means they're doing something wrong. And I love my haters. Their tears are delicious. Better with the extended S at the end. All right, what am I playing here? I'm playing I Did Ride the Way. I think Tom Gulley Goes to Town is going to take us out today. That's what I think. That's what I think. Let me get this over here. Let me do this here. Yeah. So I'd like to thank all of you for being here, and especially like to thank Leon and Terry Nee for contributing to the show. By the way, gifting memberships, it's like $2.99. And you look super cool. Get a membership for yourself. I'll start doing members-only shows one of these days. They'll be great. You'll enjoy them, probably. And, well, I'll be friends. Terry Nee says, I'm broke now. Yes, you're broke now from all the other shows you give real jack to. Real scratch. Real wampum. Mean Green. Dead Presidents. Yeah. I know. You think I don't see you? Although, I will hand it to you. You also do the, novelty gag $1 or 99-cent contributions there, too. Which I think is funny. So, anyway, tomorrow night we'll cover the microphone, and then on Thursday night we will cover the very, very true crime unsolved mystery of the Springfield 3 murders. Eesh. And Terry Nee is laughing. Yes. Anyway, I just noticed that old clock on the wall says, like the Reverend Al Green, it's time for me to get on up out of here. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here after the song plays. And thanks, everybody. Like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification bell, all the free things you can do to help us with the algorithm, the almighty, all-powerful, all-knowing algorithm. Please share this baby around, right? Springfield, Illinois. No, Springfield, Missouri. Anyway, with all that being said, I personally, and I'd be the guy that would know, I personally think the only thing that is left to say other than, oh, wait a minute, we got Leon Kennedy, the great Leon Kennedy, the mix master himself, the Quincy Jones of the Tom Gulley Show. Goodbye, Mr. Gulley. Goodbye, Mr. Kennedy. James the Moose says, have a great night, Tom. Thank you, James the Moose. Doopa Doopa Doo just arriving after I complete the show that was done solely on her request. Doopa, there's a whole show for you here. Thank you for requesting it, and I appreciate it, and it's good to see you, and we'd love to see you more often. And people always ask about you, and I say, I don't know. I guess she likes another show better, and I'm like, can't blame her. So Roller Skater Texas Girl says, have a wonderful night, Tom and chat family. Roller Skater Texas Girl, always great to see you. She says, laughter, laughter. And Julian Zeezers, people saying hi. People just love each other in here. Go ahead and keep talking. I'm going to end the show, and normally that means I say the words. Whoops. I got to recalibrate this. I say the words, till next time. We'll see you next time.
The golden crown, Tom Gulley's ready, no time to slow down. His voice a river,
Hey, I just decided I'm playing another Leon Kennedy song, man, because they rock.
Who's that man with the smoothest plan? Tom Gulley's got the upper hand. Oh yeah, he's got style, got brains, got a podcast too. Dropping truth bombs, he's coming for you. Evil puppets think they can play, but the man from Gulley don't sway. He's sharp as a tack, clever and sly. When he's in the zone, they can't deny. He's the man from Gulley. He'll outsmart the devil verse every day. The man from Gulley. Say what? Taking down those puppets in his funky way. He's got moves like a Motown king. Words so smooth, they got a sting. Ha! With a mic in hand, he's a podcast pro. Evil schemes on wherever he goes. Clap your hands now. Tom don't run, Tom don't hide. He's got that funky justice stride. With the bass line bumping, the horns on blast. He's fighting those puppets, making it last.